We are here at the Methven Trotting Club, and I am catching up with Johnny Morrison, one of the locals here. Firstly, Johnny, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good to see you here again.
We were at Addington last time, but beautiful track. What an amazing place this is.
Yeah, no, she's a great outfit, and it's only 20 minutes up the road for me, so it's quite good for track work as well. But yeah, no, it's a great place and a really good atmosphere. So,
well, that's a funny thing. Brent White said he said the same thing earlier. He had a nice win there earlier in the day, and you had a nice one there with a little horse called Jimmy Ray. But he said about bringing them here makes them just work that little bit harder without actually having to put the hard work into them.
Yeah, well, the pigs are always out real wide, so we work right on the outside of the track a lot of the time, and it does the horses a world of good. It's almost like a holiday 20 minutes away for them. They have a look around, and you don't have to work them very quick at all, but it's still they have a good blow, and it's just great tidying up their win. So before a nice race or anything, it's always handy to come up here.
Have you always been from here, Johnny?
Ashburton, born and bred. So yeah, I've moved away for a while and worked for some people in Christchurch and a few different people up there, and then come back down here to train. So yeah.
Met the sister the other day. She was all the way up in Cambridge, so I gave her. She's moved away.
She moved away. So she couldn't handle me or Dad, I think. So she moved away. So
what was her name? Because she will watch this. Because she said she watched everything. So what is your sister's name?
Kieran Morrison. So she's probably makes a lot more money than Dad and I put together up there. So no way she's coming home.
She gave me a big cuddle and a kiss the other night, so it was all good. She didn't, but I just made that up. We'll just see if she says anything to that. Firstly, the winner of Jimmy Ray won. It was a good win, but also good with Morris in there on a day like today. Yeah,
well, he's not a bad horse, and he's had a checkered sort of career with standing starts, but he's slowly getting better. So I thought no better than one of those experienced fellas. I actually called Tony. I said of the Golden Oldies races today, so they had a bit of experience here anyway. So so it was great for Morris, and so he was good for the owners as well. So they've been very patient.
It's not actually the Golden Oldies. I love it. It's the Three Wise Men. It must be so good for like a young man like yourself. Three superstars of the industry, and they've been I suppose so well respected by the club and everyone. They've got to drive in I think 6 races. They're all competing against each other for points, but they get to go around against you guys. It's not like it's just one group of guys constantly going around. You young guys get to drive against them and watch and admire what would have one time been your superstars.
Yeah, well, it's they were, as a kid growing up, they were the ones you watch, and a string of other drivers that are out there that are, just as good as them. They, you used to watch the races and there'd be 12 of them in a race, and they're just, to drive against when you start, they were the absolute best, they were very fair and everything like that, and great to learn off all those guys, and, they're the ones who should be watching, for younger people coming through, they're just very professional at their job.
I think what Methven have done here as well is remembering them, even though they're still here. I mean, actually just reminding people about how good they are and getting them out there. And Morris showed how good he is as well. It was a typical cagey drive, and the smile that he had on his face when he came back to scale, I think he enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it looked like he really enjoyed it, and probably good for them, a bit of a change and back to the standing starts, like coming down from Auckland. They don't have them anymore really up there unless they're higher grades. So, they looked like they enjoyed themselves, and as I say, it's a great place to come to, particularly to drive.
Jimmy Ray, he hasn't had a lot of starts. He had 10 starts now, or 11 starts now, 3 wins. Must have a little bit of a future.
Yeah, he's not a bad animal. He just, he's not going to go all the way, but he's going to do a nice job. He had a few wee soundness issues. He started off his career really good, and he ended up getting a bit of a floating bone chip and a hock, and we had to turn him out and then fiddle around, and then luckily we didn't have to operate. So it's it's been fine ever since we had to treat it. So, we've been lucky that way, but he's just had a long time in the paddock and a long time off. But, he won first up, and, he's always a nice horse, and I couldn't wait to get him back at the races, but it took me a year, so, that's why.
You said that you're training 16 horses locally at Ashburton. Won the facilities, and that is sensational or great for you guys?
Very good, yeah. I got a barn there that's got 12 boxes, and it's got about 4 outside yards, so they're all sort of in and sheltered, particularly for the winter and things like that. And I got about 4 tracks we can work on, so all changes and everything. And as I say, being there, coming up the road here, I use this track quite a lot. And then Chertsy's just 10 minutes down the road as well, and there's a good wee 1,000 metre course there, so it's sort of real handy to everything.
Absolutely, training wise. Who's your best horse? Is Jimmy Ray one of your better ones?
Yeah, he's probably the best one at the moment, but we're very lucky at the moment. I've got a nice sort of team, and I've got a few nice ones coming through. So, yeah, we'll see. There's a few coming through that go okay. So, yeah, but he'd have to be the best one at this stage.
I interviewed you on Addington Cup Day, and you had a double on that day. And I mean, that's a great day to have a double as a driver. What are your aspirations, mate? To be a driver, or can you be a freelance driver, or do you want to be a trainer and one of the better trainers in the country?
Well, it's sort of, you just take what you can get, really, I think. But I still really enjoy the driving, and I love the driving. And we've got a lot of younger people coming through as well that are coming through their juniors, and they're going real well as well. So, nowadays we have smaller fields, so you're not getting chosen all the time because there's so many smaller fields, but a lot of racing. But I still really enjoy the driving, but I am enjoying the training, and I'm sort of looking forward to where the training goes. Just hopefully just keep doing the right thing and getting good owners, that's all.
A little bit about your colours. I was a bit cheeky to you when you're in the parade ring out there, and then I got told that they have a little bit more meaning than just being a nice shade of pink. They're nice colours, and they've got a bit of meaning for you and your family.
Yeah. Well, my grandfather, Jack McDonald, he trained, I'd be 35, nearly 40 years ago probably, but he always had the pink and whites, and he used to train big teams, but he was quite big in sort of selling to America. Didn't always race a lot of horses, but he sold a lot of horses over there and moved them on and things like that, and had studs and had sires, and so it was good to get them. When I started, I sort of didn't have a pair of colours, and I was going to have to make a set, and I ended up getting them, so it was good the family passed them down to me. So it was really cool.
Means a bit more every time you put them on, doesn't it, when there's a bit of a family tie?
Yeah, dead right, it definitely does, and the family gets behind it, and then the amount of people, whether it's from Aussie or here or even people in America, said to me, I knew those colours 40 years ago, and they're going around again, so it's quite cool that way.
I was going to say, does it make you proud when people say that to you?
Yeah, well, it does really, and my grandfather died before I was around, which was a sad part. I never got to know him, but to hear a lot about him is also quite cool. So yeah.
No, I love it. I love the history. We've got to remember the history. We've got to go forward and look forward, and all the rest in our industry. But embracing the history is what we've got to do. And and even days like today, where we're not going to say any three of those guys are history. I mean, they're still going terrific in our sport, and we've got to remember them. So well done to Meth, and well done to you, mate. Thanks very much for the chat. Good little side story there. But congratulations on the winner, Jimmy Ray, mate.
Yeah, thank you very much. And it's great work what you guys do. And and hats off to Meth for putting this day on for those three guys. That was really good, and I'd like to see a lot more of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done, mate.
Very good. Thank you.
Thanks.